Mentioned the fact that Connor McDavid was the fastest man on planet Earth. Steve points out that he isn't. Anthony Greco in the AHL All-Star game bested McDavid's time, and he did so with a speed wobble. Steve's right. It was impressive, and he had like a speed wobble on the last corner. But obviously, those two weren't the only ones making a little noise with how fast they could skate.
First off, I don't trust that clock. Do you trust that clock?
The AHL clock?
The AHL clock, really shady in the AHL.
If you watch it, it is unbelievable.
I haven't watched it.
A little speed wobble on the end.
Really shady. Cassie Campbell-Pascall joining us to discuss the goings-on over the weekend at the All-Star game. Cass, how you doing?
Good. How can you not trust the AHL
Thank
clock?
you.
I got a long history with the AHL clock people, Cassie. I don't have the time to get into it.
Dave Andrews, the president, it has to be one of the most genuine, nicest people in the world, and I am sure that the clock is fine.
You don't know him like I know him, Cass. I know a different side of him. And there's
a
whole story there.
See what I deal with.
I'm just saying. Well,
Did you not make a team back in the day, or what's going on?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. All right. You're sensitive. You're sensitive.
I'm very sensitive. Let's get to Friday night here, Cass, and you're watching that play out. What's going through your mind?
You know, I hate to admit this, but I didn't watch it live. I watched it after the fact, and it was actually my husband who was like, "You got to go on Twitter. You got to see what Kendall Coyne just did." And I was like, "Okay." And I hadn't really heard much about it. It was, a weekend off for us, and honestly, guys, I wasn't surprised one bit. I've watched her skate before. I've watched her play many a times, and what impressed me, though, was to be able to accomplish what she did and do what she did under those circumstances and the pressure. And, I think back to Annika Sorenstam. You remember when she was going to play with men and she hit her first drive, and it was a beautiful drive, and then she almost collapsed on the tee because, you know that if you don't do well, you're going to set your sport back. And that's all that you're thinking about when you're doing these types of things. And yet she just moved our sport 10 years ahead, and good on her and good on Brianna Decker and Rebecca Johnson and Renata Fast. I just thought they represented the women's game so well. And Kendall Coyne, man, she is that fast. I'm telling you, she's that fast. I never played against her, but I've watched her many times, and I was so glad that I wasn't a defenseman playing against her.
How important do you think the weekend can be to force some eyes open? Because I never saw it in the context that I saw it there, and it opened my eyes. Do you think that just having a bunch of people who may never watch a CWHL game or a Minnesota Whitecaps game where she plays in the other league, do you think this was an important moment for women's hockey?
I think so. I think it's even bigger than that. I honestly believe that whoever is a naysayer out there, and we all face it on social media, and it doesn't matter what we do, we're all going to face it, either you're a man or a woman. But it just showed, it just legitimized our sport, that up against the best players in the world, that they can hang their coat on the same rack. You know what I mean? It was just incredible. I think it's pushed maybe that WNHL idea. I think it's pushed that ahead. I don't know by how many years or how many months or how many days, but I think it just really legitimized our sport. It legitimized the talent of these young women. And I got to tell you, 100 times better than my generation. There's no one from my generation that could do some of the things that the women are doing now. And but it's a stepping stone, and it was a foundation, and there was a foundation before me. But just to watch these girls perform and be so humble and be so well spoken, and they're all educated and they're wonderful athletes. I think it's done a tremendous amount to push things maybe quicker than we all anticipated.
Okay, let's talk about that quickly, because we had Natalie Spooner on the show, and we had a tough conversation with Nat about how you get more people involved in this game, and she expressed an interest for the NHL to be involved. Could what happened over the weekend get the NHL a little push in the rear end to maybe partner with one, or maybe we get the amalgamation of the two professional leagues?
Well, you know what? I think the NHL has been a great supporter behind the scenes of what they've done already, and I think that support's going to continue to grow and continue to get bigger and better. Listen, in my opinion, there's one league that's standing in the way, and that league knows who they are. That league's commissioner knows exactly who they are. And I just think it's time. We need to move this forward. The players are that good. We owe it to the players as pioneers, as leaders in the game, to push this forward and move this in the right direction. And we need to do it quicker, sooner, rather than later. And let's go. I mean, let's go. Enough talk about it, enough social media bantering and back and forth and comments in the newspaper. Let's just get it done.
Hear, hear. Cass, well said. Cass, quickly, in like 5 seconds, could I beat up Scott Oake in a fight?
Not a chance. You know what? Not a chance. He is so tough. That guy is underrated tough. Not a chance. No way.
Luke Wilson may have gotten you a few votes, but right now on our poll, Cassie Campbell, Scott Oake winning by 73% of the vote. We'll add another
Shocker.
one for Cassie Campbell.
It was a real pleasure, Cass.
Yeah, I love you too. I love you too. I know that was really saying you love me. Thanks. I love it.
There's
We gotta
Cassie
go.
Campbell-Pascall. Thank you.
Bye.
And if you're wondering which league she's talking about, I will do it for her. The NWHL is a for-profit league. The CWHL is a not-for-profit league. And there is some worry about who's going to get what money.
Yep.
Maybe everyone should just do what's best for the game.
What a concept.